College football is on the verge of another massive shakeup, and this time the drama isn't coming from coaches, players, or conference commissioners, it's coming straight from the top of one of the sport's biggest powerhouses, because the president of the Ohio State Buckeyes is openly pushing back against a playoff expansion plan that the Big Ten Conference desperately wants to push through, and that alone tells you how serious this debate has become. For years now, the college football playoff has been expanding at a rapid pace, first moving from the original 4-team format to a 12-team structure that promised more access, more excitement, and, most importantly, more money. And from a competitive standpoint, no program has benefited more from playoff evolution than Ohio State, a school that has consistently positioned itself as a national contender regardless of format. Whether it was the 4-team era or the current expanded model, the Buckeyes have shown they can win under any system, which is why it surprised so many fans when Ohio State President Ted Carter came out and essentially said, "Enough is enough." In a recent interview, Carter didn't sugarcoat his feelings about playoff growth. He openly questioned whether college football actually needs more teams in the postseason at all, explaining that from both a competitive and fan perspective, 12 teams already feels like the sweet spot, and even hinted that the sport may have already gone too far. That stance directly clashes with the Big Ten's reported push for a massive 24-team playoff, a proposal that would double the current field and fundamentally reshape how the season, conference championships, and player workloads operate. Carter's argument is rooted in a simple but powerful idea: expansion doesn't automatically mean improvement. While conference offices see dollar signs, television contracts, and increased brand exposure, someone has to speak up for the athletes and the integrity of the season itself. A 24-team playoff would stretch the calendar deeper into winter, stack additional high-intensity games onto already grueling schedules, and potentially turn what should be a championship chase into a survival test. Carter even acknowledged what many fans quietly think but rarely hear from administrators, that fewer teams often means clearer stakes, better matchups, and a postseason that actually feels special. He admitted that from Ohio State's perspective, being one of 4 or even 12 teams gives elite programs a clearer, fairer path to a title, whereas an overloaded field risks watering down the importance of the regular season entirely. Still, Carter isn't naive. He understands the reality of modern college football, where media deals and conference influence often outweigh tradition. He openly admitted that some level of future expansion is probably inevitable, but that doesn't mean it should be rushed or inflated to an extreme. His resistance highlights a growing divide within college athletics, schools and conferences chasing revenue versus leaders asking whether the sport is losing its balance. The Big Ten's motivation is obvious: more teams means more Big Ten schools in the playoff, more games on national television, and more control over the postseason landscape. But Carter's comments suggest that even within powerhouse conferences, there's discomfort with how aggressively the sport is being reshaped. What makes this moment so fascinating is that Ohio State, of all programs, doesn't need expansion to stay relevant. The Buckeyes recruit at an elite level, compete for conference titles annually, and already have a built-in playoff pathway. That gives Carter the credibility to question whether expansion truly serves everyone or just a select group of stakeholders. Fans are split on the issue. Some love the idea of more teams, more matchups, and more chaos. Others worry that college football is slowly turning into a professional-style tournament where the uniqueness of rivalry games, conference titles, and regular season urgency fades away. Carter's stance taps directly into that concern, reminding everyone that the sport's appeal has always come from how much every Saturday matters. If a team can lose multiple games and still sneak into a 24-team playoff, does the regular season really carry the same weight? That's the question looming over this entire debate. Whether or not the Big Ten gets its way, Carter's comments have already done something important. They've exposed the fact that playoff expansion isn't universally loved, even among those who stand to benefit from it. As college football barrels toward its next evolution, voices like his may be the last line of resistance between thoughtful growth and unchecked expansion. The real question now isn't if the playoff will grow again, but whether the sport will pause long enough to ask if bigger truly means better.